The next step is a female head coach because they're nurturing and they're caring. I'm with you. Vrabel, do not give up your LA Fitness membership. Keep doing the shoulder press.
Too big. Like what?
There's no way I'm
human, Smitty.
There's like no way this is legit.
You don't think this is real shit? Like, you don't think Mike McDaniel's firing Vic Fangio is a real thing? You don't think that now there's what's his name, the DC and Philly that just got fired because the players were going to Sirianni telling him that he was too hardcore. What happens to the men in this league? What happens to the men hashing
That's one of the things I love about Dan Campbell. He actually looks like he could play today, at least a few downs. But this is the next step to getting a female head coach. Watch. Just like they do in the NBA with Becky Hammond. I actually read Becky Hammond should be considered by the NBA. And I'm like, for what?
So
can we keep it real, Darnell? Because you're younger than us.
If you want to do it, we can do this. We can do this.
No man wants to be coached at that level by a female in that sport. Football, baseball, basketball.
Football for sure. Football, I'm with you for sure. Basketball, I don't know. That's a little different.
About any other sport.
Football for sure. I know it just
Darnell.
The football locker room, be real, was very like inappropriate. We're very like I'm just being real. Like I'm just saying the conversation we have in the locker room is not suitable for a woman head coach to be in there. I'm just gonna be honest with you 100%.
Exactly. And I'm not gonna tuck my balls away for you to come in and give me a speech.
Darnell, if you played defensive tackle, if you had a game that was really rough, let's say you played Larry Allen and it was a tough night at the office, and some females coming up, hey, Darnell, you weren't two-gapping very – you know what the one phrase would be heard across the locker room that everyone would say, the most popular two-word phrase in an NFL locker room, if there was a woman, a head coach, and it'd be saying under their breath, the most popular phrase in the locker room would be, bitch, please. I mean, seriously, that's all you hear. Bitch, please. Like, they don't want to hear it. I mean, it's already – look, most of them don't want to hear from an older white guy. But from a woman, they'd be like, bitch, please. No, come on. Nobody – even in the NBA, as feminine as those guys are, they do not want to hear from some woman, oh, why are you getting written out of the post?
Let me ask you this, though.
Seriously.
I'm glad we're keeping it real today. Let's do it. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you, Steve, JB, anybody can answer this question. Why is that though? We had this discussion offline in person the other day, and my comeback was, okay, I hear you. I'm not even disagreeing with you. I just admitted that in the football space, it wouldn't make sense to have a woman coach there. It just wouldn't make sense. But a lot of the reason why we say women shouldn't be coaching because they didn't play the sport. They can't. How can you tell me you didn't play? There's a lot of men that didn't play the sport, that talk about the sport, that coach the sport, and why is it okay for them to do it? It's like just because you're a man doesn't automatically mean you know the sport more.
But Darnell, outside of Jed Fish, most players, even most coaches actually played a little bit. Like even Mike McDaniel, he played, I think, at an Ivy League school, Kid Capri Pants. He played football at a college level. He didn't play in the SEC, but he still played. I'm just telling you, there's certain sports that, yes, you can get away with the female head coach. There are other sports I think it'd be the worst idea. It would not work, and I'd feel sorry for any player that would have to go through that experiment.
Yeah, no, Smitty, I get you. Football not working.
Who teaches your son how to fight? Your mom or your dad?
Your dad.
Man, I don't know what fuck we're talking about.
I bet you, who's Muhammad Ali's daughter? I bet she can teach her son how to fight.
No, we're not.
I bet you she could. I bet she could.
Let's be honest. Who taught her though?
And hold on, I'm gonna time out. I'm gonna be real. Hold on. Let me rewind that actually though, because JB, you know this too. You from the hood. Let's be real. A lot of people, unfortunately, in my culture, don't have a fucking man in the household, and I know a lot of those dudes can fucking fight. I've seen it firsthand.
Brother, uncle, homie.
It varies.
Make mom.
It varies. They learn from this going out there and losing a couple times.
Hey, the females are not afraid to fight.
And a lot of times, dads ain't teach you how to fight. The streets show you how to fight because you go out there and just fight. You fucking lose and you learn.
You want to see a female head coach in the NFL? Just say yes or no.
No, I don't. I just told you I don't. I said football.
Like it, homie.
Football's a unique space, but I will say this though. I got to be real though. As men, we are We believe women shouldn't even fucking talk about sports. Let's keep it all the way. We won't be real. Let's be real. The majority of men don't fully respect a woman talking about sports the same way we do about a man. If you pick a random dude and a random woman and they say the exact same shit, we naturally gonna lean towards the man more because they have balls.
Darnell,
that's all the way real, and it's not
like
fair.
A mechanic. I don't want to watch the one NASCAR driving female. I want to watch all the dudes, right? That's just like a mechanic or any of those things.
But just because we do it doesn't mean it's right, though, JB. I'm saying I can think about what I'm doing, but you know what? This shit doesn't make sense. Like, that's all I'm saying.
I don't think it's that way anymore.
A woman can study the game just as much as I can, and Steve Kim can, and understand
I would listen to Serena Williams over any guy, probably, just because she's probably the most famous fucking tennis player and had the most success on the female side, of course. But I'm just saying, I can listen to her tell me anything about tennis, men or women's side. I don't think that's true necessarily. Maybe back in the 70s or something. Times have changed.
What about basketball then? We bring up Becky Hammond. Women hoop the same way men hoop. They can't jump like they can jump. But
no, they don't.
No. I'm not saying they're as good. I'm saying it's basketball, the X's and O's of basketball. They know that shit.
You know what the problem I have with most female basketball analysts? I hate their attitude. They take these guys and say, hey, maybe you guys should have a smaller ball or a lower rim. And their attitude just stinks like a wet shart.
Hey, who's going through it right now, Smitty? Who's the guy for the Nuggets?
Porter.
Oh,
that's an honorable young man who has integrity and knowledge. And I want to thank you, Mr. Porter, for bringing back a little sanity.
15 minutes ago, you said the boxers need to just fucking fight and be quiet. But then, when the basketball players say something that you agree with, that's an honorable man.
No, but he's playing 82 games though. This is the difference. He's not trying to be philosophical. He gave an answer like, well, I mean, they're trying to. Like, no one wants to watch. I think ping pong player. As an Asian, I want to thank you for sticking up for ping pong players. Because stop Asian hate. Get ping pong players. He said the truth. I am so sick. What's the worst thing is when these women have such attitude towards NBA players who think, well, I don't like the fact they don't play above the rim. That's their choice. And the way they act and all their political and social stances, most of America is going to look at these studs and say, yeah, we're good. And then the other thing that I hate is the virtue signaling NBA media guys who pretend like they like the WNBA. Just for kicks, one of those guys that was sticking up for it, I went to his Twitter account. He tweeted about a lot of basketball. You know what? I didn't see one tweet in about 50 tweets, anything on the WNBA. And if you told these same individuals, hey, you know how you're covering the Portland Trailblazers or some other team right now in the NBA? Yeah, we're going to switch you to the WNBA. Darnell, be honest. Would they look at that as a promotion or a demotion?
They look at it as a demotion. They would.
They wouldn't admit it, though. And that's what I hate. It's just like basketball, I get it. I don't really need a WNBA player on the desk of an NBA thing. I really don't. I'm just like, I know I'm terrible. But I will say this. One person I do enjoy talking boxing with is Christina Poncher. She works for Top Rank and ESPN.
Why? Tell me why.
Because she puts in the work. She's been there for years, and she puts in a lot of work. I actually really like getting her perspective because she's there a lot. She has to cover all the ringside fights. She has to be there the first bell because she does a lot of the international feeds for Top Rank. So when that first bell strikes at 3:30, she has to be there. And I know the type of work she puts in, and I know this because I've known her for a while. She really cares about this thing. This thing of boxing is not just a profession. It's a passion. It is a passion.
Steve, you don't say, Steve.
Right, but there's other times when I know they put in women to do announcing, and I'm like, oh, God, you didn't even do your homework. GTFOH. No.
Well, how about this, Steve? I'm glad you said that.
She does, though, and I respect that.
And can we make it – so can we just make it a case-by-case thing? Can we stop the whole, she's a woman, she shouldn't be doing it? No, because Poncher is a perfect example.
It's easier and funnier to stereotype. It's better material for guys like me.
Hey, Smitty, not in football we can't. I mean, honest. In football, you can't. You shouldn't be. Like, I'm just telling you.
Hold on, you shouldn't be what? Are we talking about coaching or are we talking about the game?
Coaching.
Okay, I'm cool with the coaching part because I am cool with that. Listen, y'all, a football locker room is like it's it's the most masculine environment you could possibly think of. Like, you know, it's
It
just
is, and it's supposed to be fun. I don't want to look, especially in football, which is vicious and violent. You got to have some humor into it. You got to have some masculinity to it. And I don't ever want to have to. She's coming. She's coming. Okay. I'd be like, oh God, get me the fuck out of here.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I said a lot. Listen, I'm talking about
you're nuts, Steve. I'm your clitoris.
Hey, conversations I've had in the locker room with my teammates, even the coaches. I can't even say it on here, but trust me, we cannot say those things.
I mean, some of the funniest conversations that I engage in is when I go to 10 Goose Boxing. Shout out to the Goosen family. When I'm working out and we'll talk boxing or talk something. And it's just better sometimes when there's no females around because you could be unfiltered. It's some of the funniest, most profane stuff. You kind of laugh about it the whole day. It just wouldn't be this. I'm sorry. It just would not be the same if a female is there because you want to be respectful. I mean, some of the stuff that's, oh God, it's so funny.
He thinking about it right now.